Always excited to visit with this guy. We call him lovingly JD the AD. It's the great Aztecs athletic director, JD Wicker. JD, thanks so much for coming on. Really appreciate it, and good to hear you. What can you tell us right now about the future of Aztecs football in San Diego when it comes to stadiums?
Well, first off, I appreciate the opportunity to come on with you and then with John as well. Hopefully, Rich is doing well with the newest edition. So, but Aztec football in San Diego, we're excited to finally have the opportunity to go to the city council with a lease extension at Sdsu. We've been working with the mayor's office for probably 2 years now to get this hammered out, and they've been a great partner in this, as has San Diego State with the city, and an extension through 19 and 20 solidifies our football program at this time, having a place to play, as we have some other questions that are coming up in the near future that will get answered.
Yeah, JD, if the extension goes through 2020 and if the Mission Valley Initiative Sdsu West passes here in November, take us through your timeline again in terms of hopefully having a new facility for the Aztecs football team in Mission Valley moving forward as well.
Well, again, we've been in Mission Valley for 52 years now. So our hope is to build a stadium in San Diego, preferably in Mission Valley, and as part of the SDSU Mission Valley plan. So, given the opportunity to purchase the property, the earliest opportunity that would be is at the end of the year, should the SDSU West initiative win. And, we figure a year or so to negotiate with city council and mayor's office on fair market value and getting everything taken care of. So we would hopefully put a shovel in the ground for a new stadium sometime in early 2020 and hopefully kick off in a new San Diego State Stadium in 2022.
JD, if I may vent for 5 seconds, man, do I get tired of constant legal challenges that won't win. So I wonder, what is your reaction? Not only SDSU West, the understanding is that there may well be people or challengers with regard to even this lease extension that you're talking about right now, and it seems like such a fait accompli. What is your reaction to the constant legal challenging of you guys just trying to get something done?
Yeah, I think the important thing is to concentrate on the positive. This is, as we look at SDCCU Stadium, it's a community asset. It's not just a stadium for Aztec football. There's, Tottenham Hotspur and AS Roma play on Wednesday night. You've had Mexican national team soccer, U.S. national team soccer. Jay-Z and Beyonce will be there in September. Coldplay, U2, Alliance of American Football. There's so many other events that happen at SDCCU along with Aztec football, which has been the 8 straight bowl games, 2 out of the last 3 conference championships, bring a lot of excitement to the city. So we look at this as an opportunity to, make sure that asset is, still there for the city. And, we're going to be certainly paying our fair share. We're going to, increase our rent from, approximately $150,000 to $1.1 million. They're going to get concessions and parking revenue, which this past year totaled about $750,000. So the city's going to see an infusion of about $1.7 million just from Aztec football into this asset. So we want to provide something for the community. So we see that with SDCCU, and then we see that with the new stadium that we would build.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear in a new stadium. I know you've talked about this before, JD, but the idea of this isn't kind of like what you just said about SDCCU Stadium. It's not only for Aztecs football. How would you envision the use of a new facility, not only for San Diego State football, but for the university and then outside university interests as well, if that were to get built?
I've said it all along. I want to build a stadium for the community of San Diego. Building a stadium to use it 7 times a year is not physically responsible and probably not something we could handle anyhow. So I want to build a stadium that's great for Aztec football, creates that great atmosphere, helps us take, there aren't too many levels left for Aztec football to achieve at this point, but we want to get up to one of those New Year's Day bowls, and creating that atmosphere will be great. And then the opportunity to bring in soccer, concerts, dirt shows, whatever it may be, but then it's going to be built in a way that we can do smaller one-off events on the concourse or in the club areas and things like that. So our goal is to keep it, busy 365 days a year if we can, and for it to bring something for every person in this community.
SDSU AD JD Wicker joining us, Mark and Rich Show, Extra 1360. JD, I count like something in the neighborhood of 39 days until Aztec football plays a game at Stanford. This thing feels so big. It feels like such a springboard. In your words, what's on the line? How does the season's arc kind of change based on the outcome of that game?
Well, it's the first game of the year, so there's a lot of eyes on it. And obviously, as it did last year, a win against Stanford, a win against Arizona State, those types of things definitely bring some national media attention to you, and it's important. But as Rocky says, the conference championship is the most important thing, and I can echo that in the sense that if you're not the conference champion, you're not going to get an opportunity to play in a New Year's Day Bowl. So the most importantly is win your conference games, and then those non-conference games are important to help take you above the other conference champions, out there in the Sun Belt, MAC, and, the Americans, so that we get that opportunity.
JD, I wanted to ask you also about the performance of Xander Schauffele this weekend. I know you were watching. I know a lot of San Diego State people were watching. What is the level of his play mean for San Diego State athletics when you watch him play professionally?
Well, it's so exciting, to see a San Diego student athlete, one who was, just here a couple of years ago, finding success on the international stage like that. He's a great young man. He gives of his time back to San Diego State. A couple of weeks ago, he donated time to play a round of golf with folks for a donation back to the golf program. So he's still involved in San Diego State, and I'm really excited to see a good young man, a great person find success. And it was, it's kind of like us. He has to go out and earn it. If you watch the final round yesterday when he had a little bit of a speed bump, and I think either 6, 7, and 8 or 7, 8, and 9, NBC kind of moved away from him, but then he forced his way back onto the scene and was in contention at the end, and they had to talk about it. So he's a great Aztec and a great ambassador for the city of San Diego.
Yeah, he's going to get over the top. My gosh, his success has been so quick getting out there, still just 24 years of age and the Rookie of the Year last year. JD, also this. This is something that's being thrown around back and forth, I think, by the fan bases. You see a lot of it online. There's this buzz that I feel like has been there, but it's ramped up for some reason going into this year about San Diego State, Boise State. Would you call it a rivalry? How do you describe the relationship between the two?
It's a very good relationship. I mean, we definitely, between football and basketball, if you look at the games that we've played since they joined the league, they've all been pretty compelling, especially on the basketball side. And they've been very successful. We've been very successful. So, as you're measuring yourself in this league, it's Boise State at San Diego State as you look at the major sports. So I think there's just a natural rivalry born from that. I would love to be able to play them in football every year. Unfortunately, the way the league's set up, that only happens 2 out of every 4 years. But we enjoy playing them. It's a great rivalry in the sense that the fans get really excited. It's something that's seen on a national stage.
JD, great stuff. We appreciate you jumping on. Thank you.
All right, guys, appreciate it, and good luck with the rest of the show without Rich.